Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know the show where we try to cut through all that noise online and, well, give you the insights that matter. We sift through the sources, pull out the key stuff, and hopefully make it clear and useful for you. And today, this is a big one. We're diving deep into something that honestly probably affects almost everyone at some point, calm discipline. Specifically, figuring out what to do instead of yelling. We're using a great resource for this called Parent's Guide, What to Do Instead of Yelling. It's just packed with real practical ideas, stuff you can actually use. Because let's face it, that feeling of being overwhelmed or like you're not being heard or just losing control, it happens. And sometimes yelling feels like the only way to cut through. It's common, yeah, but also super frustrating and often leads to regret, right? But this guide offers powerful alternatives, real ways to build better connections and help kids and ourselves handle emotions better. Okay, let's unpack this.
That's a really good starting point because you're right, that yell, it can feel like a release, can it? Like you finally got their attention or regained some control just for a second. But the guide makes it so clear, while it might feel like a quick fix for the parent, the longer-term effect on the child isn't great. It can really chip away at that trust, that connection, and it kind of accidentally teaches kids that, well, yelling is how you deal with frustration or solve problems. So the guide is all about shifting away from that reaction towards something healthier, more constructive.
Okay, so if we want to make that shift, where do we even start? Because my first thought goes to, like, what do I tell the kid? But the guide flips that, doesn't it? It says the first step isn't actually about the child at all. And this is where it gets really interesting. Before we can help our kids manage their big feelings, we got to manage ours. It's this idea of the power of the pause.
Exactly. That's the absolute core of it. Pause before reacting. It's about creating like a buffer, a space between what just happened to the trigger and how you respond. And it's not just about calming down. It's literally about shifting your nervous system, getting out of that fight or flight mode that makes you want to shout. The guide has some really practical ways to do this. The simplest, just breathe. Seriously, count to 5. Slowly. Inhale, exhale. That tiny action, it tells your brain, hold on, we have a sec. It helps break that immediate reactive loop.
Okay, breathing. I can try that. What else?
Sometimes you need more space, so physically stepping away helps. Go into another room just for a moment. That physical separation can stop things from escalating right then and there.
Like hitting pause on the whole interaction.
Precisely. And another thing is learning to recognize your body's signals. You know, those physical cues that tell you your stress is rising.
Like clenched fists, maybe? Or your voice getting tight?
Yes, exactly. Tight fists, your voice getting that edge. Maybe your chest feels heavy. Noticing those is like your own internal alarm bell saying, okay, time to pause now. And alongside that, the guide talks about using calming phrases, sort of like a mental reset button. Repeating something like, I can handle this, or I really like this one, connection first, correction second.
Connection first, correction second. Wow, that really reframes it, doesn't it?
It does. And what's amazing is when you do this, when you regulate yourself, you're not just helping yourself, you're showing your kids how it's done. They learn emotional regulation by watching you. It's powerful modeling.
Okay, so that makes sense. You manage the internal storm first. You pause, you breathe, maybe use a phrase. But eventually, you still need to address the situation, right? You have to actually say something. What about the words themselves? How does the guide help us master the message?
Right. So after the pause comes the communication. The guide moves straight into change your tone. And some of this advice is, well, kind of surprising. Instead of raising your voice to get heard, it suggests lowering it, even whispering.
Whispering? Really? Yeah. That seems like it wouldn't work.
I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but think about it. If someone whispers, what do? You lean in, you focus. It actually grabs attention more effectively than yelling sometimes, and it instantly de-escalates things. You're pulling them into your calm space, not meeting their chaos with more chaos. And it also talks about being calm but firm, using clear, short instructions. Forget the long lectures about why they shouldn't have done something.
Oh yeah, those definitely tune kids out.
Exactly. So instead, something simple and direct like, shoes on now, please. It's clear, firm, less room for argument. Doesn't really invite that power struggle, you know?
Short, sweet, and to the point. Got it.
Yeah.
But what about our own feelings? Like, if we're feeling frustrated or angry, does the guide say anything about showing that? Because just bottling it up doesn't seem right either.
That's a really important point. And yes, the guide addresses it brilliantly. It encourages parents to actually label their own feelings out loud. So you might say something like, wow, I'm feeling really frustrated right now. I just need a quiet moment.
So you're not hiding it, you're naming it.
Exactly. And by doing that, you're achieving two things. One, You're modeling healthy emotional expression, showing it's okay to feel upset. And two, you're giving your kids the actual words, the vocabulary, to understand and talk about their feelings later on. You're basically teaching emotional literacy in real time, showing them constructive ways to handle tough emotions rather than, well, just yelling or hiding them.
That is powerful. It's teaching, not just controlling. Okay, so we've got pausing, managing our tone, even labeling our own feelings. That covers the reactive part. But what about getting ahead of the game, being proactive? How do we encourage the good stuff before we even get to a yelling point? This takes us to proactive engagement, right?
Absolutely. And this is a huge emphasis in the guide. Use positive attention. It's about fundamentally shifting your focus instead of always pointing out what they're doing wrong.
You look for what they're doing right.
Exactly. You catch them being good, as they say. Notice the small things. Hey, I saw you put your cup in the sink without me asking. Thanks, that's really helpful. That kind of specific praise. It reinforces the behavior you want to see more of. It makes kids feel seen, valued. It builds them up. It's positive reinforcement in action.
It sounds simple, but I bet it's easy to forget when you're busy or stressed. We notice the problems more easily.
We absolutely do. It takes conscious effort. And tied into this positive attention is redirection. So instead of just saying, stop that, or yelling, don't run,
You tell them what to do instead.
precisely. So we use walking feet inside is much more constructive than stop running. It guides them towards the desired action, clear, positive direction. And another really effective proactive strategy is offering choices. This is huge for avoiding power struggles, especially with toddlers and preschoolers.
Ah, the choice technique. Give them a little control.
Exactly, but controlled control. Offer two simple, acceptable options. Do you want to wear the blue pajamas or the green ones? Do you want peas or carrots with dinner? It gives them a sense of agency, makes them feel involved in the decision, but you've already set the acceptable boundaries. It empowers them and often bypasses the conflict altogether.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Avoids the direct no battle. Okay, these are great for the moment-to-moment stuff. But what about the bigger picture? Like the rules, the structure, consistency. How does the guide help us with laying the groundwork?
This is fundamental. The guide calls it create clear expectations, and it really is the foundation for a calmer household. A big part of this is setting up routines. Think about bedtime, homework time, chores. When these things happen consistently, kids know what to expect. There's less arguing, less negotiation, because the routine is just the routine.
Predictability. Kids thrive on that, don't they?
They really do. It creates a sense of safety and reduces anxiety. And when it comes to the actual rules, the advice is to explain them calmly, ideally before you're in a tense situation. Like before going into a store, a quick reminder. Okay, remember, inside voices and walking feet in the shop. Setting the expectation ahead of time can prevent issues. It's proactive.
Rather than reacting after they're already running wild down the aisle.
Exactly. And then, when rules are broken, the guide talks about natural consequences. These are consequences that are directly linked to the behavior and delivered calmly, without anger. So, if the agreement is toys get put away before screen time and they don't get put away, well, then maybe the toys need to be put away by the parent for a little while.
So it's not a punishment yelled in anger, but a logical outcome.
Right. It helps them connect their actions to the results. It teaches responsibility, but without layering on shame or fear. It's about learning, not just punishment.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Responsibility without the emotional baggage. Love that.
Okay.
So we've covered parents pausing, communicating better, being proactive, setting clear ground rules. But it feels like there's another layer. Like this isn't just the parent doing things to the child. It's more interactive, right? A shared journey.
That's a great way to put it. The guide calls this regulate together, and it really emphasizes that reciprocal nature. It circles back to that idea of modeling. Kids are like little mirrors, aren't they? Their brains are wired to copy what they see. So if you consistently try to be calm, nobody's perfect. But if that's your goal, they absorb that. They learn calmness by experiencing your calm. And then there's this concept of co-regulation. Think of it like tuning forks. When your child is really dysregulated, upset, having a meltdown, your calm nervous system can actually help to soothe theirs.
So you don't just tell them to calm down, you actively help them, like physically.
Yeah, sometimes. It could be as simple as just sitting quietly next to them, maybe breathing together, offering a comforting hug if that feels right for them in that moment. You're basically lending them your regulated state until they can find their own again. You become their external regulator for a bit.
Wow. Lending them your nervous system. That's a powerful image.
Isn't it? And one more really insightful piece here is the idea of naming the need. The guide points out that often misbehavior isn't just bad behavior, it's a signal,
A signal for what?
an unmet need. Maybe the child is hungry, or tired, or totally overstimulated from a busy day. Or maybe they just need a moment of connection with you. If you can pause and think, okay, what might my child actually need right now? And address that, get them a snack, suggest quiet time, step out of the noisy environment, give them a hug. You often resolve the misbehavior because you've addressed the root
That
cause.
changes everything, doesn't it? From seeing a problem child to seeing a child with a problem, or rather, a need.
It completely reframes it. It fosters empathy instead of frustration.
Okay, this is all incredibly helpful, but let's be honest. We're human, we aim for calm, we try these strategies, but sometimes we're still going to mess up. We're going to yell. What then? Does the guide offer help for when we slip? It mentions the art of repair, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this is so, so important. The guide is very realistic. Perfection isn't the goal. Connection and repair are. So yes, repair after yelling. The first crucial step, apologize. A real direct apology.
That can be hard for parents. Feels like admitting defeat sometimes.
It can feel vulnerable, for sure,
Hmm.
but it's incredibly powerful. Saying something simple like, hey, I yelled earlier, my voice was too loud and I'm sorry, that wasn't fair to you. I'll try harder to use my calm voice next time. Think about what that teaches your child. Humility,
Mhm.
accountability, the fact that adults make mistakes too, and crucially, that relationships can be repaired after conflict. That's a huge life lesson.
Okay, fair point. It models taking responsibility. So apologize first. What's next?
Reconnect. After the apology, make a point to spend a little positive time together. Nothing huge. Read a short book, play a quick card game, just snuggle for a few minutes. It's about intentionally rebuilding that feeling of connection, mending any little tears in the relationship fabric.
Mending the tears. I like that visual.
And the final step is for the parent. Reflect. Later, when things are calm, just take a moment to think. What actually set me off? What was the trigger? What could I maybe try differently next time that situation comes up? It's not about beating yourself up. It's about learning,
Mhm.
growing, building that self-awareness so you have more choices next time. It's progress, right? Not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. That's a good mantra. Okay, before we wrap this deep dive, the guide also had some really quick, like, in-the-moment alternatives, didn't it? Like an emergency toolkit?
Yeah, it did. A handy little list of quick alternatives to yelling. Things you can literally do in seconds when you feel that frustration rising. Things like take 3 deep breaths before you say anything. Just pause, breathe 3 times. Simple, but effective. Or walk into another room briefly. Just step away for 30 seconds. That quick reset can make a huge difference.
Okay, breathe, step away.
hmm
What else?
Use humor. Sometimes, especially with younger kids, being a bit silly or using a funny voice can completely diffuse the tension, breaks the pattern.
Yeah, I can see that working sometimes. Lighten the mood.
Or if you need to be really clear but feel too emotional, try writing down what you need to say first. Just jot it down quickly. Then say it calmly. It forces you to organize your thoughts. And lastly, a really powerful one, make eye contact. Get down on their level physically. Use a soft but firm tone. That physical connection and calm presence often command attention way better than shouting from across the room.
Get low, look them in the eye, speak softly but firmly. Makes sense.
Yeah. And if you pull all these threads together, the big message from this guide, the overarching wisdom, is really quite profound. It's that children learn emotional regulation primarily by watching us, by working towards our own calm, by setting clear boundaries with consistency, by repairing when we mess up. We're not just managing behavior. We are actively teaching them resilience, respect, and how to solve problems constructively. Skills for life.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, it means the journey to calm discipline isn't about suddenly becoming a Zen master overnight. It's not about perfection. It's really about intention. It's about becoming more aware of ourselves, communicating more clearly, engaging proactively, and having the courage to reconnect and repair when things go off track. And remember, these aren't just parenting tricks. They're tools for building truly strong, healthy, connected relationships, creating that foundation of trust and emotional intelligence that helps kids thrive long after they've grown up. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. Think about these principles: self-regulation, clear communication, empathy, repair. How could they apply beyond parenting? Think about your interactions at work, maybe with your partner, other family members, friends. This whole framework of calm discipline, at its core, it's really a framework for better human connection, isn't it? It goes way beyond just the family home. So Where else in your life could bring a bit more calm, a bit more clear communication, a bit more empathetic repair? Where could that change things for the better? Something to think about.